probability. What is the phenomena? Phenomenon can be divided into two parts. One is deterministic phenomenon and another is non-deterministic phenomenon. Now we will learn what is deterministic phenomenon and non-deterministic phenomenon. First, we will start with deterministic. There exists a mathematical model that allows perfect prediction the phenomenon's outcome. Many examples exist in science, like in physics and chemistry. We can say that we are working on deterministic phenomenon. Apart from that, non-deterministic phenomenon also exist. So, in non-deterministic phenomenon, no mathematical model exists that allows perfect prediction the phenomenon's outcome. Further, non-deterministic phenomenon may be divided into two groups. First is random phenomena and another is hazardous phenomenon. Random phenomenon are unable to predict the outcome, but in the long run, the outcome exhibits statistical regularity. And hazardous phenomenon are unpredictable outcomes, but no long run exhibits of statistical regularity in the outcome. So this is the scenario. Phenomenon can be divided into deterministic and non-deterministic, and further, non-deterministic phenomenon can be divided into random and haphazard. Haphazard phenomenon. These are unpredictable outcome, but no long run exhibits of statistical regularity in the outcome. Do such phenomenon exist? And will any non-deterministic phenomenon exhibits long-run statistical regularity eventually? We will try to find the answers of these questions. Also, what is random phenomenon? Unable to predict the outcomes, but in long run, the outcome exhibits statistical regularity. Just take an example, one event. Now, what is trial and event? Trial and event can be defined as, in the theory of the probability, an experiment is called as trial, and outcome of the experiment is called as case or event. Just take example of throwing a coin. So, throwing a coin will be experiment or trial. And what is the outcome of throwing a coin? Outcome will be either you will get head or you will get tail as your outcome. So this head or tail as an outcome will be considered as event. The events are generally denoted by capital letter A, B, C, etc. The experiments where the results may be altogether different even though they are performed under identical conditions are called as random experiments. Here take an example, tossing a coin. Outcome can be divided as S into curly bracket. There are only two possible outcomes, that is you will get head or tail. Unable to predict on each toss whether you will get head or tail. In long term, we can predict that approximately 50% of the time heads will occur and 50% of the time tail will occur. Similarly, you can take another example, throwing a die or rolling a die. So, what are the possible outcome of throwing a die? So, the sample size will include, you will get 1 dot, 2 dots, 3 dots, 4 dot, 5 dot or 6 dot as on the uppermost surface of the die. Again, suppose you are playing Ludo or you are playing Snake and Ladder and you are throwing a die. Now here, can you predict what will be the next outcome. So unable to predict outcome, but in the long run we can predict that, or we can determine that each outcome will occur one sixth of the time. Now use symmetry. Each side is same. One side should not occur more frequently than another side in the long run. If the die is not a balance, then it is said to be not a true die. So the die should be balanced in that case. Now we will see some definitions. First definition is the sample space, that is S. The sample space, or S, for a random phenomenon is the set of all possible outcomes for that particular event. Just consider tossing a coin. So, what is S for tossing a coin? How many possible outcomes are there? There are two possible outcomes. That's why we have written S is equal to, into curly bracket, head and tail. Similarly, rolling a coin. What we have written in S? So all six possible outcomes, that is dot 1 to dot 6, are sample space. Thus, I will repeat again, the sample space S for a random phenomenon is set of all possible outcomes. Thus, I have taken same example. Tossing a coin, outcome can be S, that is head or tail, and rolling a die, outcome can be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. Now what is event? The event that is denoted by E is any subset of the sample space S, that is any set of outcomes, not necessarily all outcomes of the random phenomenon. So if we plot Venn diagram, you just recall your concept of Venn diagram you must have studied in the 8th standard. So we can plot Venn diagram as, in the sample S, E will be any event that will occur. The event E is said to have occurred if the outcome has observed the outcome lies in E. Now again take example. Rolling a die, possible outcomes are S is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now what is event E? Now we want the event that the number rolled is an even number. So what are the possible number? Two possibilities are there. N number of possibilities are there, but we will just consider two possibilities. At the uppermost face, we may get an odd number, that is 1, 3, and 5. Or at the uppermost face, we may get at even number. Even number can be 2, 4, and 6. So in this example, rolling a die is outcome. Possible outcomes are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If the event is we want even number to be rolled, that is 2, 4, 6, then possible outcomes are only 2, 4, and 6. Now, next definition is the null event. The null is also called as empty event, that is denoted by two symbols. 0 cross, that is the null symbol, or empty curly bracket. So this is denoted as null event where the event contains no outcome. So if the event contains no outcome, it is denoted by null event or empty curly bracket. The next is the entire event, or the sample space, that is S. So here the entire event means the event that contains all possible outcomes. Such events where all possible outcomes are there, such event is called as the entire event. So we have learned two. First is the empty event that never occurs, and the entire event, that is S, it will always occur. So one event will never occur and one event will always occur. Now we will learn few things as set of operations of events. First, we will start with union. Now, there are suppose two events. One is event A, another is event B. Let A and B be two events. Then, union of A and B is an event which is denoted by the symbol A union B. So, A union B is denoted by A U B, and that is defined as A union B is equal to all the subsets that belongs to A or E belongs to B. So, A union B are two events. So here in the Venn diagram, we can denote it as A is another event, B is another event, but A union B comprise of such events which are possible in A as well as possible in B. The event A union B occurs if the event A occurs or event B occurs. Next is intersection. Now, intersection is let A and B are two events, then the intersection A and B. I will repeat again. A and B is the event which is denoted by A and B, and it is defined as A and B or A intersection B is equal to all the events E belongs to A and all the subset E also belongs to B. So it is intersection. In the Venn diagram, it is easily identified that A intersection B will be the intersection portion of the two events, that is A and B. So as we have cleared the concept of A intersection B, now we will again look at A union B. So A union B will comprise of all the events which are there in A, B, as well as in the intersection of A and B, and A union B, A intersection B will be only such events, such outcomes which will be the intersection of A and B. So the event A intersection B occurs if the event A occurs and the event B occurs. So both should occur. Now what is complement? Let A be any event, then complement of A, that is denoted by A bar, is defined as A bar equal to where does not exist, that all belongs to A. So in the Venn diagram, whatever inside A is denoted by white circle, and what is not included in A, that is denoted by A bar. The event A bar occurs if the event A does not occur. So this is the Venn diagram of A bar, which is denoted by gray portion. In the problems, you will recognize that you are working with either union. Then what is the union? When you are going to see the word or, A or B, girls or boys, history marks or geography marks. So the word or will denote that this is the problem of union. Similarly, if your word problem contains the word and, then this and means it is A intersection B. In a particular game, boys and girls are together. You have to calculate history and geography marks. So instead of or, if the word is and, That means there are two events and you want now intersection of that event. So or denotes union, and denotes intersection, and the word not, not, not denotes its complement, that is a bar. So if you see word not, you have to recognize that it is a complement. So this is very simple to understand and recognize which type of problem you are going to solve, whether it is union, intersection, or complement. Now we will define few events. First is mutually exclusive events. Mutually exclusive events. Let two events, A is event and B is another event, and two events A and B are called as mutually exclusive if A intersection B is null. So A is not intersecting B. There is nothing common in A and B. Okay. Suppose in A city, all citizens of Pune city are there. In B city, all citizens of Satara city are there. So there, if there are few people who are having a home in Satara as well as Pune, then such person will be in the intersection part. But if we assume that in our classroom there are 100 people or 100 students, from those 100 students, 60 students are having their home in Pune city, so we will denote them as A. Remaining 40 students are having home in Satara city. We will denote them as B. Now, there are no students who are, or zero students who are having home in Satara as well as Pune, both. If no such students are there, then this is the example of mutually exclusive events where two events A and B are mutually exclusive and A intersection B is null. If two events A and B are mutually exclusive, then they have no outcomes in common. They cannot occur at the same time, and the outcome of the random experiment can not belong to both A and B. So, mutually exclusive events can be shown in Venn diagram like the diagram given in the figure. Also, there are equally likely events. The outcome of a trial are said to be equally likely if anyone of them cannot be expected to occur in preference to another, that is, getting a head or getting a tail if an unbiased coin is thrown or tossed. Now we will see the definition of probability. Probability of an event E. Suppose the sample space, that is S is O1, O2, O3, dash 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 up to On, has finite numbers, that is n of the outcomes. This n is suppose 7. Then sample space will be O1, O2, O3, O4, O5, O6 and O7. Why 7? Because here n, suppose it is 7. Also, each of the outcome is equally likely because of the symmetry property. Then for such type of any event E, probability of E can be denoted as n of E divided by n of S. That is nothing but n of E divided by n. What is n? N is total number of outcomes. And what is n of E? N of E number of outcomes possible in event E. So what is probability? Probability is equal to number of outcomes in that particular event divided by total number of possible outcomes for that event. The symbol n of A is equal to number of elements for the event A. Thus, by this definition of probability of E is nothing but number of outcomes in that particular event E divided by total number of possible outcomes. Applies only to the special case when the sample size has finite number of outcomes. So this probability definition is applicable only when the sample space has finite number of outcomes and each outcome is equiprobable. That is, if this is not true, a more general definition of probability is required. Now, what are various rules of probability? First is rule of addition rule or additive rule. It is also called as mutually exclusive events. So, probability of A union B, that is equal to probability of A plus probability of B. That is, probability of A or B is nothing but probability of A plus probability of B. If A and B is null, that is, if A and B are mutually exclusive, then only this additive rule is applicable. Suppose if two events A and B are mutually exclusive, then they have no outcomes in common. They cannot occur at the same time. The outcome of random experiment cannot belong to both A and B. So in Venn diagram, mutually exclusive events can be denoted like this diagram which is given. So this is the example of mutually exclusive events. So for such mutually exclusive events, probability of A union B, that is probability of A or B, the scientific mathematical formula is probability of A union B or probability of A or B is equal to probability of A plus probability of B. Now in general, if the events are not mutually exclusive, so there is some intersection between A and B that is exists. So probability of A and B is not a null set. It is having some value. General case. So for general case, the rule of additive is probability of A or B is nothing but probability of A plus probability of B minus probability of A and B. So what is logic in that? What is this formula derived from? So probability of A union B, that is probability of A and B. So how we are going to calculate this probability of A union B? So according to the Venn diagram, the gray shade portion is nothing but probability of A union B. In between we can see probability of A intersection B. So to calculate this probability of A union B, we have to calculate total probability of A plus total probability of B minus the middle portion. Then only we can find out the area under this probability of A or B. Thus, when probability of A is added to probability of B, then the outcome will of probability of A and B will be twice. So we have to eliminate one probability of A and B for one time. Thus, we can derive from formula probability of A union B is equal to probability of A plus probability of B minus probability of A intersection B. So this is the formula and this is the explanation or logic behind derivation of this formula. So we can say that probability of A or B, probability of A union B is nothing but probability of A plus probability of B minus probability of A and B. Just take example, Saskatoon and Moncton are the two cities competing for the World University Games. There are also many other along with them. The organizers are narrowing the competition to final 5 cities. There are 20% chances that Saskatoon will be among the final 5. There are 35% chances that Moncton will be amongst top final 5, and there are 8% chances that both Saskatoon and Moncton will be amongst the final 5. So these figures are given to you. Now what you have to find out is what is the probability that Saskatoon or Moncton will be amongst the final 5. So what is problem statement? Saskatoon or Moncton. So this or indicates it is union. So we have to use formula A or B. So Saskatoon will be event A, Moncton will be event B, and you have to find out A or B, that is A union B. So which will be the formula? Same formula will be there, probability of A plus probability of B minus probability of A and B. Now it is not written anywhere that probability of A and B and intersection is mutually exclusive. Rather, it is given that 8% chances that both Saskatoon and Moncton will be among final 5. So all the figures are given. Probability of A is given as 20%. Probability of B is given as 35%. And A and B, that is A intersection B, given as 8%. So just you have to put into the formula 20 plus 35 minus 8 and you will get the answer. Very simple. So what is the solution? What you have to write in exam? Let A is equal to event that Saskatoon is among the final 5. Let B is equal to the event that Moncton is among the final 5. So what is given? In percentage it is given 20% is nothing but 20 divided by 100, that is 0.2. So this is how you can calculate the probability. 20% means 0.2, 35% means 0.35, 8% means not 0.8, 8% means 8 divided by 100, and 8 divided by 100 is 0.08. Students sometimes do mistake that 8% means 8 divided by 100, that is equal to 0.8, but 8 divided by 100 is 0.08. Thus what is given? Probability of A is given as 0.20, probability of B is given as 0.35, and probability of A intersection B is given as 0.08. So now what is probability of A union B? So here AND denotes ulta U, that is intersection, and OR denotes U, that is union, that we have learned. So probability of A union B, probability of A or B, I will repeat again. Why we are using this formula probability of A or B? Because we want to find out Saskatoon or Moncton. So probability of A plus B minus probability of A intersection B. Just put the values 0.20 plus 0.35 minus 0.08 and your answer will be 0.47. Thus, what is the probability that Saskatoon or Moncton will be among the final five? The answer is probability is 0.47. Hope you have understood this example. Now, what are the rules for complements? That is probability of A bar. A bar nothing but probability of A, and that is minus from 1 because total probability is always 1. So, what is probability of A bar? Probability of A bar mathematically can be represented as 1 minus probability of A, or not A. A bar is nothing but not A. Probability of not A is equal to 1 minus probability of A. These are the mathematical formulas. This is called as complement event. Let A be any event, then the complement of A, that is denoted by A bar, can be defined as A bar is equal to any set does not belong to A, that we have seen. The event A bar occurs if the A does not occur. So what is logic behind this? A bar and A are mutually exclusive because nothing is common, that's why they are mutually exclusive. Thus, S is equal to A or A bar. So A and A bar together will make the entire sample, that is S, and entire sample is nothing but 1. Thus 1 equal to probability of S. So what is 1? 1 is equal to probability of S, that is nothing but probability of A plus probability of A bar. Therefore, to calculate probability of A bar, just take probability of A to the side of 1. So we have to do minus. So probability of A bar is equal to 1 minus probability of A. So this is the logic behind the formula. Now what is conditional probability? Frequently, before observing the outcome of random experiment, you are given information regarding the outcome. How should this information be used in prediction of the outcome? Namely, how should probability be adjusted to take into account this information? Usually the information is given in the following form. Like, you are told that outcome belongs to the given event. That is, you are told that a certain event has occurred already. So these are dependent event. So what is the definition? Suppose that we are interested in computing the probability of event A, and we have been told that event B has already occurred. Then it is conditional probability of A, that is given to be defined as probability of A condition B, that is probability of A by B. What is probability of A by B? A by B is equal to probability of A intersection B divided by probability of B, provided that probability of B is not equal to 0. If it is equal to 0, then it will goes to infinity. So here the assumption is probability, or condition is probability of B is not equal to 0. So what is probability of A by B? A by B is equal to probability of A intersection B divided by probability of B, provided probability of B is not equal to 0. So what is the rationale for this? If you want to calculate probability of A by B, the formula is probability of A intersection B divided by probability of B. If we are told that event B has occurred, then the sample space is restricted only to B. So we are not now including A because B is already occurred, and from that B, now what is the probability? So probability within B has to be normalized. This can be achieved by dividing it by probability of B. The event A now only occur if the outcome is in probability of A and B. Hence, the new outcome, that is what is probability of A if B is already occurred, is nothing but the total possible probability, that is probability of A intersection B divided by sample space. Now we have restricted to sample B. So probability of A by B is equal to probability of A intersection B divided by probability of B. So just take an example. An Academy Awards is shown to be shown. For a specific married couple, the probability that the husband watches the show is 80%. The probability that his wife watches the show is 65%. And the probability that both will watch this show is 60%. So this is given to you. This data is given to you. Now what you have to calculate? You have to calculate if the husband is watching the show, what is the probability that his wife also watching the show? Now what is the condition? If the husband is watching the show, then so condition is given. What is the condition? His husband should or her husband should watch this show. So what is the probability that her husband is watching the show? What is the probability that his wife is also watching the show? So how to calculate this? The Academy Award is soon to be shown. Academy Awards means Oscar Awards. Let B is equal to the event that husband watches the show. So what is the probability of B? That is given already, 0.80. Now let A is the event that his wife watches the show. Okay, that is not given. No, that is given as 0.65. Now what you have to calculate? What is probability of A by B? And A intersection B is also given as 0.60. So simple, put into the formula, probability of A by B is equal to probability of A intersection B divided by probability of B. Now here the probability of A intersection B is nothing but 0.60 divided by 0.80, so that is equal to 0.75. So what is the answer? If the husband is watching the show, what is the probability that his wife is also watching the show? The answer is, the probability is 0.75, that is 75%. Now we will talk about what is independence. But I think this independence we will talk in the next lecture.